Happy New Day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and watching. So, I don't even know where I'm gonna begin with this video. It's a lot of random things taking place right now. I still haven't processed everything, but in the last few days, I have just experienced strange things. I've had some very extreme pressure in my head. Been feeling like my physical body isn't is limiting to what my energy is trying to do. So I've just been feeling like my energy kind of wants to escape. You know, it's like my skull, my peanut head isn't big enough to hold the energy, and I just been feeling a lot of just a lot of pressure lately. And I'm not really one to pay a lot of attention to the mainstream media. I don't watch TV, I don't watch the news. But having to do work on the computer and do research on certain things, I'm forced to see headlines and things that are going on. And even though I turn the other way when I see things that are like the trending topics and, you know, where everybody is focused on, I'm that person that when everybody's looking this way, I'm like, okay, something's going on over here, so I'm going to go that way. But there have been so many back-to-back events going on that I'm just like, you know, my body is like, okay, just, you know how to filter, you know how to have discernment, you know how to listen to your body. So dive in a little bit and get out of there, you know. And I'm a little bit backed up on things. I'm late on a lot of the mainstream events that some of you all may, I'm sure majority of people know about. I'm like just now catching up. And I just took some notes on just some of the things that I could think of that have happened recently in the last couple of months. And I know we've had some major planetary events. We had the eclipse. We had the hurricanes. I think started in Texas, then and made their way to Florida. I think it was separate hurricanes though. It's been a lot, but we had the Kenneka Jenkins situation that that energy was so heavy. I don't know how many of you all actually got into that, but when that situation happened, everything in my body says stay away from it. Do not get into that. And I didn't. I stayed away from it, and I can see that it's still harnessing people's energy. There are people that are still very much locked into the Kenneka Jenkins story. And my awareness, and I'm just one individual, I'm just going with my flow. My awareness is seeing more than just this plane, this physical plane, when it comes to that particular story. Like, I'm seeing past that into other realms, and I'm seeing a lot of people getting their energy snatched and harnessed, and they're really tied in with something deeper going on with that Kenneka Jenkins situation. Yeah, and my energy is just like I can't really get into that. But what I did do, I did pull up Kenneka Jenkins Human Design, and that's where I did my little research. And I for right now I'm just gonna keep that off to the side. But the fact that took place in Chicago, that has definitely had an effect on the city of Chicago and this whole area, in a very deep spiritual way that for any of you all watching, if you all know what I'm talking about, if you all are having your own experiences, feel free to leave a comment, share your story, share what you picked up on it. Maybe, whether it's psychically or maybe in a dream realm. Because I know some of you all know what I'm talking about. So I just noticed some things in regards to the big events that have taken place recently. So Chicago being a major city and having having its own energy, just like every place on the planet. I can see how the Kenneka Jenkins situation definitely made an impact just with the whole energy of Chicago in multiple ways, which I encourage anyone who's interested to follow your own energy and your own intuition and tap into that yourself. Recently, I guess this was, and I didn't really check any days, I just jotted some things down, but we had it was some type of attack in New York. I think it was last week or maybe the week before. Some type of quote unquote terrorist attack. I didn't look into the details of it. I just saw the headlines and kept it moving. So I'm looking at that as another area where energy is definitely being harnessed, and certain spiritual things are going on with that I encourage you all who are interested to look into yourselves. Texas had the first hurricane, I believe, recently in these last couple of months. And as of, I guess, yesterday or the day before, Texas is back in the news with a terrorist attack at a church. I saw the headlines, but I kept it moving. For those of you all who are interested, I suggest that you look into that yourselves. And of course, Florida had Hurricane Irma, I guess a couple of months ago now. So I'm just looking at these particular events. And then, it was kind of overwhelming trying to round up all of the celebrity stuff that has been definitely snatching people's energy and attention and distracting a lot of people. I mean, it's just celebrity stuff. It's so overwhelming. And because there's celebrities, this is where, majority of people's energy is just being directed towards. And wow, what a bunch of traps. I mean, it doesn't take much to see, that it's snatching your energy to be so deep into the lives of these celebrities, you know, these people, these regular people who just happen to be in the spotlight based on mainstream media. You know, a lot of people don't know how to separate watching the celebrity stuff from like real life, you know, and you all know what I'm trying to say. But I left out one particular story because when I found out about this story, which is now, you know, is kind of blown over. I was kind of shocked, and I had to check myself. I had to really look at how detached I am from, you know, mainstream media and the news. You know, I'm just not a person that trusts anything that the box tells me. That's why I don't watch it. I can't. But I was able to recognize in hearing about this story my own programming based on, even though I've gone years without watching TV, I still have years of programming from the years that I did watch TV. And what I can say is that, you know, from as far back as I can remember, California has always had wild fires, wild forest fires every year, like clockwork. And I guess just from the repetition of it, it's a program that I'm sure many people have installed into their consciousness, to where when you do hear that, oh, California is having a wildfire, you don't even pay attention to it. You don't even, you know, you like, oh, again, okay, this is a yearly thing. This is natural for California to have this. But I do remember seeing a headline maybe, you know, like a month or so ago, and just, you know, just blew it off like everything else. And this recommended video has been popping up for the last couple of weeks, and I've been seeing the thumbnail and ignoring it up until a few days ago, maybe like 3 days ago. And I want to share some things with you, because after watching this video, it led me into more research and investigation. And I'm still processing how I feel about this, because I'm not one of those people that, usually this isn't even what I do on my channel. So I'm not one of those people that promote fear and promote, you know, I'm not like a conspiracy theorist. I'm not one of those people. I kind of stick with my lane. But this is like really like pulling at me, because it's in me going through my own deconditioning and deprogramming and undoing certain things that I have taken on over time that I'm not even aware of. This is a very good example to show how I'm, you know, experiencing my own level of programming. And I just wonder how many of you all are aware of this. So I'm going to pause this and I'm going to pull up a video. Okay, so this was a thumbnail that I kept seeing for this video. And here's the title: USPS postman delivers mail, Santa Rosa fires, drone video by Douglas Thron, October 10, 2017. So shout out to Douglas Thron, the aerial cinematographer who did this. A few years ago, I watched a documentary called The Battle of Chernobyl. And I'm going to get back to that in a second. So when I saw this thumbnail, it's almost like looking at the devastation of this area. The only thing that I saw and like was referred to in my consciousness was Chernobyl. Like literally when I saw this, I just kept thinking Chernobyl. And I didn't really know what I was looking at because, you know, I never looked into the details of these California fires. So when I saw the thumbnail, it just reminded me of a movie, and it reminded me of Chernobyl. That's all I kept hearing in my mind, Chernobyl. And I guess my consciousness, because, you know, we do that. We will block out, we will see something clear as day, but it's like our mind will edit out the main thing that we need to be looking at. So it's like my mind edited out this mail truck, and just, you know, it just stayed in the category, the compartment in my mind of Chernobyl. And a couple of days ago, I saw this again, and I was like, let me watch this. Because what is this? What am I looking at right now? Like, you know, what country is this? And when I asked myself what country it is, I said, wait a minute. This is a U.S. postal truck. So this is the United States. Where is this at? So, you know, it just took me a minute. It really took me a minute to start putting pieces together. So for those of you who, you know, who haven't seen this, check it out. Let me add his wonderful music to it. This looks like a scene out of a movie. And I really feel like my mind was not seeing this as real. Like it was seeing this as a scene out of a movie, especially with this music that he has in the background. So I know a lot of you all know that the programming and the subliminal messages that are done within movies and the news and television shows and all of that. So in looking at this, you don't see reality. You don't see that, oh, I could travel to Santa Rosa, California right now and see this. You don't put that together. Wait a minute. I just noticed something I didn't notice before. He has on a face mask. That I have something else to talk about. Remember that face mask. I didn't even notice that. This is perfect for the point that I want to make later. Okay. Thank you, Douglas Thron, for sharing. So I'm making sure that I give credit to this man here. Douglas Thron, thank you. Okay, so wow, I didn't notice that part at first. Okay, so after watching this a couple of times and just realizing, like, okay, this is recent. This is not out of a movie. This is real. And then, you know, we see the videos that start to come up when you look up something. So the strange fire. So that pulled me in to investigate. And then I find this lady, In Truth by Grace, who I watched like 2 of her videos, and she went in. Yeah, she's just as dumbfounded as I was, but she definitely did her research. So for those of you all who are interested and want to look into this yourselves, check out Evidence of Military Grade EMF Accelerants Used in Sonoma Napa Fires, October 13, 2017, by In Truth by Grace. She gives some really good information in this. Oh, I had another video. I didn't pull it up, but check out her channel, because this one is good. And if you feel the need to go further, go for it. Do your own research. But this thumbnail right here is one of the cars that was in this wildfire, this quote unquote forest fire last month in California. And as you can see, the glass is melted. Just look at it. Look at it. What do you all think about this? And Grace does a great job in showing how fires will peak at a certain temperature, and then like they'll start to drop. And even at their highest peak, they can't. A regular fire cannot do this level of damage. And it's not just this car, it's the whole neighborhood, as we could see in the previous video, where the mailman was still delivering mail. So yeah, I'm gonna move along. The Battle of Chernobyl. You can look this up. The full documentary is on YouTube for free. And then there's more information about the Chernobyl disaster, which happened April 26, I believe, 1986. And it happened in Ukraine. There was a nuclear explosion at some type of plant, and it exploded very high levels of radiation that pretty much caused problems for 20 plus years after that. I'm sure they're still having issues with the area of Chernobyl right now. What I found interesting after I watched the videos about the California fires is that in Grace's description, along with other people who are who have gathered evidence on this, they talked about how with a regular forest fire, there will be it will just naturally burn black smoke. And even on some of the news clips that people had in their videos from the actual NBC, ABC News helicopters, it showed smoke coming from the ground, but the smoke was white and orange, which indicates that there was some type of chemical. There were chemicals within these quote unquote wild fires, these forest fires. And in another video that Grace did, the one that I forgot to pull up, she talked about how, as she was showing footage of somebody who was riding their bike through this neighborhood that had been completely destroyed, there were still fires burning, but the fires were like a bright orange color. Like they weren't regular fires. They were fires that were like a Duralog, for those who may be familiar with the difference between like burning regular wood in a fire and burning a Duralog, which I saw, just so happened to see for the first time a few months ago. I actually saw a Duralog burning. So I have it fresh in my mind what that type of fire looks like compared to just a regular fire that is to where regular wood is burning. And it's definitely a difference. So in Grace and other people talking about these fires that have these high EMF chemicals and frequencies going on with them, the colors of them are very is very bright. It's just the color is higher and is brighter. It's not like a regular fire. So that prompted me to go back to the Battle of Chernobyl, the documentary, which I haven't watched in a few years. And I just want to play like this short part real quick.
1,200-ton cover of the reactor suddenly blasts into the air. An ultra-powerful stream of radioactive vapor releases uranium and graphite over hundreds of meters around the plant. From the gaping hole, a spray of fire charged with radioactive particles in fusion shoots 1,000 meters into the sky.
There were a lot of colors, and they were really bright, orange, red, sky blue, colors like blood, a rainbow. It was beautiful.
The most serious nuclear accident in history has just taken place.
No.
Okay, so the colors were beautiful to him. They were so bright and just so many colors of the rainbow. He thought that it was beautiful. That doesn't sound like a regular fire color to me. So in hearing that part and then linking that with these videos that different people have done talking about the difference in color with the smoke, the difference in color with the pieces of material that were left burning, which you can see for yourself from people who use their phones, went back to their neighborhood to, you know, and it's certain cars that are still burning, but the way that it's burning like a Duralog. It's not, it's just different. You can see it. You can see it for yourself. So, matter of fact, I'm going to press pause. Okay, I had to find this other video I watched. So this is by Serbian Conspiracy. So these fires, from what I saw in one of the videos, and you know, I do investigation and research, but only to a certain extent. Once I get the gist of what I need to know as far as what my truth is, it is what it is. This being a forest fire or a wildfire, I found it interesting that these fires were spread out. They said it was like 16 different fires spread out in hundreds of a mile radius. And I saw certain footage that had, you know, certain cars on fire on the expressway. Other cars weren't. They were saying that the fires were jumping, and, you know, and I do understand that fires can spread, but it's very clear to me that there's something completely different about these so-called wildfires. Now, this video shows a McDonald's and an Arby's completely demolished, just out of nowhere. And there's not really any forest, but the forest that we do see, the trees that we do see, they don't seem to be bothered at all by whatever happened to the McDonald's and the Arby's. Trees are untouched. Where did the fire come from? Where did it come from? Look at the trees. They're standing there like, oh my God, what happened? What happened to the McDonald's and the Arby's? The trees are astonished. They're in shock. Look at all of the trees looking at McDonald's and Arby's. And Kohl's is still there. The gas station is untouched. The gas station did not blow up. Look at this. Look at poor Arby. The trees are just standing around like, oh my God, what happened? What happened to you, Arby? So this wildfire, where exactly did it jump from? Because it hurtled over a lot of land to get to Arby's and McDonald's, wherever it came from. Where did it come from? And the gas station is untouched. The place that's most flammable is untouched. So we have three. We have three. I don't know what this was. But I know one was a McDonald's, one was an Arby's, and whatever this was. So did the fire jump over the interstate? Where did it jump from? Look at these little bushes. They made it. They survived. They survived this. Oh, this was the Applebee's. So Applebee's, Arby's, and McDonald's are gone. And nature still stands. Thank you, Serbian conspiracy, for having the tools and the technology to do this. Look at this. Where did the fire come from? Where did it jump from? How many of you all knew about this? Because I'm feeling some type of way that it's November 6th, and I'm just now finding out about this. This is unbelievable. Also, we have a Kmart that has, out of nowhere, the fire has jumped to Kmart and completely demolished Kmart. Yeah, these are some serious wildfires, because they, there's no explanation for them. All of these separate fires just popping up out of nowhere, but completely, like, this was a Kmart, and it doesn't look like there was anything ever in the Kmart. It's completely torched. So, yeah, this, like I said, I'm still processing because to look back at Douglas's video, and Grace does a good job at showing, which you can do on your own as well. You can go to Google Images and look up houses that have been burned down, and you'll see that majority of them aren't actually burned down. They're burnt up, they're toasted, but a lot of them are still standing. The structures are still standing. So what is this? Look at these cars. This looks like, I can't think of anything other than some type of nuclear device, some type of nuclear missile, nuclear weapon, nuclear just stands out in my mind. And looking at the way the ground looks, looking at the smoke that's left in the air, when you watch, if you choose to watch the Chernobyl documentary, you'll notice some very similar scenes. And when the explosion happened that caused the Chernobyl situation, the way it spewed out into the air, I mean, isn't that kind of similar to all of this smoke, like all of the smoke being in the air? And if you do more research, you'll see that when it comes to just being more logical and looking at what types of energy weapons do this, it deals with microwavable type energy, which is of course radiation, which is what Chernobyl is all about. It's about radiation. And we know what microwaves do. So, and just like simplifying all of that, it looks like this area was microwaved, because nothing has the remains of a regular fire, a regular house on fire. The type of fires that are still burning when you look at other people's footage is that bright orange Duralog type fire. And that bright orange, beautiful, you know, colors that was spewing out of the plant for Chernobyl. So, I mean, should I not believe that this air, this smoky air that I see right now is not filled with radiation? Should I not believe that? Should I give it the benefit of the doubt? What do you all think? Please share, because I don't want to look like the crazy person on here. But please share your thoughts, how you feel about this. And, you know, one of the biggest points that everybody seems to make is that for this to be a wildfire or a forest fire, it's amazing how none of the trees were destroyed. None of them. So pay attention to that. Like as you as you watch the footage, the different pieces of footage out here from people who are paying attention to this, look at the trees. They're still standing. They're all standing in shock because they can't believe that the humans are not aware. Majority of the humans are not aware of what's going on here. If they could run and tell us what's going on, they would uproot themselves and come and tell us what's going on and warn us. This is unbelievable. But then again, it's not. So I think I've said enough with this. There is plenty of evidence, plenty of information for you to see all of these crispy cars and these non-existent houses that have no remains. It's like everything's been cremated, but not with a regular fire. That's the point. And yeah, for those that, you know, are, you know, I haven't looked into this whole Texas massacre thing that happened, I think, yesterday. But right before I started this video, I picked up my phone and I don't know what this is with the Samsung Galaxies, but they just, I know I didn't download this app, but they just put headlines, like they just make it pop up. And I saw a headline. I think I closed it already. Oh, no, here it is. Okay. So the headline says, the Texas church shooter should have been legally barred from owning guns. I didn't read it, but I just looked at his picture and I saw his name. And that's where I stopped. So I'm going to show you all one more thing. All right, so we have, I don't know if my video screen is in the way, but we have Devin Patrick Kelly. That's this guy's name. And, you know, me just going with how my energy takes me, I just immediately put this on my little notepad and I started pulling out words. I just started pulling out words just to see how I'm a human. I'm a human. I'm being programmed at all times by all types of information, all types of things. And, you know, I'm just doing my best to become more aware of what is coming into my consciousness. So I see this name, this long name, Devin Patrick Kelly. And I'm like, I can feel it. I can feel there's so much going on with this name right now. So let's see what's going on with this name. We have devil, kill, prick, vain, in vain, tick, kick, lack. That's a big problem. Lack. That's a huge issue with a lot of people. The lack. We're always lacking in something. And Devin Patrick Kelly is helping us to remember that always. Just by saying his name, we're lack, lack, lack. Devil, kill, prick, vein, prick my veins, in vain, tick, kick, lack. Trickery, vindictive. Yes, vindictive is in that name. Veil, particle, never tell. Y'all remember that? That I'll never tell line? Live in a circle. You can find it, live in a circle. Hamster wheel, maybe? Just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. The same program, the same terrorist attack over and over and over again. Just keep them in a circle. Keep them living in a circle. Never tell them. Alley. Do fun things happen in alleys? Not around here in Chicago. You don't want to be in alleys in Chicago. I don't know any alleys that a person would want to be in having fun. So I don't know. All for you Illuminati people, we don't have sing in there, but we can put it together. The all I, trick, lie, evil, trap, Ella. Some of you all may not know about that, but you know, you can figure it out. Nike, the hook, rat, rap, rape, R. Kelly, Patriot Act. And by the way, for those of you that don't know, you really don't need vowels. You can take out all of the vowels and still get all of these words. So even without the O in his name, we have Patriot Act. And oh, I forgot to put that on the list. It's been some things going on with taking a knee, something going on with taking a knee, and Colin Kaepernick, and you know, the NFL. There's been a whole bunch of stuff going on with that too, right? Yeah. Okay. Patriot Act. Vatican is in Devin Patrick Kelly. Now, it's no S in there, but knives, or connive, maybe like conniving, maybe, I don't know, but it's in there. And those are just a few words that I found. So, you know, this is why I really have become an advocate for following your own authority. Follow your body. Listen to your body. Take the time to get grounded. It's a lot going on out here, and it's not going to stop. But you have the ability to choose what you're going to put your energy and your attention towards. You don't have to get snatched up by all of these energy draining, soul harvesting situations that are going to keep coming, and they're going to keep you in a circle. They're going to keep you on a wheel. They're going to keep you stuck. They're going to keep you in a lie. And all of these words that we can just find in this one person's name, who we don't even know if this man really exists. How many terrorists, so-called terrorists, that do these attacks, how do we know if they really, really exist? We don't. That's why it's so important for you to know how to listen to yourself. Follow your gut, follow your intuition. You don't have to learn about your human design. You don't have to go that deep. But your body is always giving you an indication of yes or no, or even just wait. You could just need to pause before getting into something. There may be something that happens, like the Kenneka Jenkins situation, and it could just be too much low vibrational energy going into that one area to where it's easier to get sucked in and to get your energy drained while everybody else is a part of it, as opposed to saying, okay, I'm aware of that, I'll wait and I'll get back to that later. And I'll get back to it at a time to where I'm grounded, I'm clear within myself, so that I can actually look into that and not feel the heaviness of the energy. So it's nothing wrong with being aware of what's going on in different areas of the world, but so many lies, so much evil, so much of all of that going on that you want to be able to navigate properly through listening to yourself, through trusting in yourself and knowing that what you feel is the truth. So, yes, thank you all for tuning in and watching. I hope that this video was helpful. Once again, I am not trying to promote fear or to scare anyone. Everything that I do is about self-empowerment. So hopefully you find some level of self-empowerment and a new awareness about what you're looking at, what you're taking in as information. And one more thing before I go. The other day, I got this message intuitively that told me to look at information as food. And if the information is not delicious, don't eat it. If it's not delicious, don't eat it. And sometimes, you know, we do need to take in information that doesn't necessarily taste good, but it's still good for us. And that's where the discernment comes in. That's when being able to listen to yourself comes in, because sometimes we need that something that's not good to clear us out. And I feel like with this situation, with these California attacks, these energy weapon attacks, this nuclear attack on Santa Rosa, California, and the other areas, it wasn't delicious, but I feel good after looking into it and getting what I needed from it, and doing my best to deliver it to other people, to help other people be aware of this situation, and also help people to navigate more consciously when it comes to taking in this information. Because of course, in this day and age, we're going to come across a lot of things that aren't delicious, but we can still feel good about them. And if you come across something that is just telling you no, just a flat out no, it's not delicious at all, you can't make it delicious, is, don't take it in at all. Trust that. Trust it, because there's always something happening energetically and spiritually underneath everything that you see that's put out that you didn't put out yourself. It's always something. So I feel like around this time last year, I think that's when I put out my videos on psychic attacks, part 1 and 2. I haven't watched that video since I put it out, but you know, it might be a good, those videos might be good to revisit. And yeah. So that's all I got. That's all I got. I had to put this out. But I'm going to get back to my my regularly scheduled program, which is human design and doing DNA genetic blueprints. And for those of you who are interested in a free blueprint, interested in knowing your mechanics and how you operate and learning more about your inner authority and tuning into your body and feeling good about yourself and being self-empowered and stepping out of all of the things that are trying to put you in fear and all of that type of stuff, feel free to visit my website, www.freeyourmindtoshine.com. So thank you all for tuning in and watching. Free Your Mind to Shine. Until next time.